Now, I remember a couple of years ago, you had Chael Sonnen on the program, and Chael basically walked off and was insulted and didn't feel as though you were respecting him enough or knew enough about the sport, so to speak, or that you were trying to bait him. And fast forward right now, he's actually a regular on your program, isn't he?
Yeah, he's a regular on the program, and he's a friend, and I use that in I mean, we have all different kinds of friends, right? We have friends that we see all the time, like you and I, Gabe, are friends, right? Like we don't go out and hang out, but when we see each other, there's a handshake or a hug. I mean, you're on off the record all the time. I like you, you like me. You've been to my house, and Chael obviously would be a different kind of friend. When I've been in the same city as him, I have seen him. And he's super nice to me now and super respectful. And, hey, I'd come on that show anytime. I like the way you challenge me. But the first time, I mean, was I baiting him? I'm not sure that's a good word for it. Or you tell me what the word is. What I was trying to do was trying to engage him and get him to show like the fire and the passion and the smarts that he shows. When this guy's engaged, he's one of the sharpest guys out there, right? You can't out-debate. You can't scrap with him. He's really that good. And he took it not as me trying to engage him and give him a forum to talk. He took it as me disrespecting him, much like was the situation with CM Punk, which, again, I kind of admit, like, obviously if two guys felt it, it's got to be there. And obviously, I'm responsible for that. So I think to do better with guys who like that kind of gentle prodding as opposed to guys who are intensely proud of what they do to the point where you can't have fun with it.
Michael, I've noticed oftentimes when I'm on the set of OTR and MMA comes up and the UFC comes up, people often say to you, "Oh, I can't believe that you're into that stuff." Speaking to as many mainstream athletes as you have, I know that Johnson. There's basketball players. There's a few athletes. Shane Victorino's really into this stuff. But it seems like people are always surprised and sort of disdain. No, I don't watch this stuff. But they're always hockey guys, and they got no problem with hockey guys bashing each other's teeth out. But somehow they think the UFC is too much. Do you deal with that a lot?
Sure. I mean, I would say when we do a panel like we did today, more often than not, unless you book the panel specifically to talk about MMA, you have a bunch of guys going, no interest, don't care. But, one of the shows that we actually scored big on was we had Michael Irvin on the show, and Chael Sonnen was on the same show. And Michael Irvin goes, "Oh, my gosh," and we taped him first, right? He goes, "Oh, I'm a huge fan of Chael's. Are you kidding? Chael Sonnen? He's going to be on this show? I mean, I'd just like to say hi to him." And we had these two guys actually end up conversing in the end. And it was, to me, it was me sort of sitting back watching, I won't say two of my kids, but, two people that I know enjoying each other and feeling like, hey, that was a pretty good match. So I think UFC has there's a lot of people that are fans of the four major sports, right? Yeah, I'm a football fan, I'm a baseball fan, I'm a basketball fan, I'm a hockey fan. And it seems like that doesn't necessarily include UFC. Like UFC fans are particularly passionate and knowledgeable about their sport and aren't necessarily in all of the other team sports. Like I said, for me, I would rather watch UFC any day than a baseball game. I would rather watch UFC any day than a hockey game that didn't have important stakes to it or didn't involve my team. So for me, I'd probably put it number two behind football.
And finally, in closing, as we're in conversation with TSN's host of Off the Record, Michael Landsberg, you've got a good relationship with Dana White. I'll ask you, how much longer do you think Dana White will remain in the position that he is? Have you seen anybody that has worked as hard or has hustled as hard over the last decade plus, building the company? And it's so big right now that you got to figure eventually he's going to run out of gas. It's like, he's only so much gas left in that tank. I don't see the same fire that Dana used to have. You talk to him. What do you think? How much longer do you think he hangs around?
I can't answer that. I mean, I could answer it, but it would be
in your opinion.
In your opinion, like I can answer any question you throw at me, and I can pretend like I actually know. So I'll give you two different answers. One, this is the bullshit answer. Okay, the bullshit answer is, you know what? I see Dana. I don't see him ever walking away because here's a guy who really has created this company almost in his image, and he is by far the biggest celebrity. And very often he's the only celebrity that carries over from like one year to the next. GSP, guys like that come and go, and especially they've had a bad string with injuries. But Dana is always there, and I do not see him walking away. Now, the honest answer is I don't know. I mean, my friendship with him goes as far as I've interviewed him probably 20 times. He's given me and my family tickets. You know, I've had conversations with him on the phone or whatever, but I don't really get a sense of who he is as a person away from UFC. Because whenever I talk to him, it's UFC business. So I don't know. I don't see him walking away soon, though.
Michael Landsberg, we got to wrap it up. Time just flew by there. Michael, it was great to put you in the chair and ask the questions. Hopefully one day we can get you in studio here at the Fight Network. Thanks a lot for taking the time to be with us.
Anytime, and if I'm not on, again, it'll be one of two reasons. Either you don't want me back or you just haven't asked me. Because if you ask me, I'm there, buddy. I got nothing to do, man. I got nothing.
Yeah, you better be careful. We might call you next week. Always a pleasure, man. Thanks. There's Michael Landsberg with us. All right, we'll take a quick break. We'll come back. That was great stuff. I really enjoyed that. I wish we had more time, but we don't. We'll come back with our videos of the week.